Let's go fishing.
Let's go fishing.
I'm on a mission.
I'm on a mission.
It's so pretty, I'd sure hate to waste this chance. We'll find a shady little spot, not too cool, not too high.
Robin, they get scared, they start jumping around.
Mafia, right?
This
Mafia rods.
This is what you need. Mafia rod and reel and Robin Clegg out of Garrard's Bait and Tackle.
There we go, man. Fish on, guys. Fish on. Big old walleye. Ain't got no hands going. Hey, you got one on here. Set it down. Set it down. Set it down. Got one over here on your bottom here. Put that one there. Yeah.
Inside one?
That one right there. Hurry up. Hurry up. Fish on, guys.
Fish on!
Fish on, guys. Fish on. Giant guys.
Fish on!
You should have come up here.
That looks like a smallie.
These are just as good as eating as crappie.
Is that a smallie?
No, they're not a small.
There's no smallies in here?
No. These are just good eating as crappie. I don't keep them big ones, but these are good eating. Start, get you a shiner, put her back down there. Dawn. Oh. We got sunrise out there. We're gonna keep a few.
Like a smallie when you pull it out.
Yeah. We're gonna keep a few bass this morning, the little ones, because Dawn wants to take a mess back to home with him to eat. We're gonna try to catch a crappie and catch 3 or 4 bass for him to eat. And them small bass are just as good eating as a crappie. We got into some fish today, boy. And daylight this morning, it was, good Lord, done his handiwork on the painting. I mean, there's all different colors: orange, green, brown, white, blue, a little bit of everything here, the sunrise, the water, and the vegetation. But yeah, we started out this morning catching some bass. We got a few shiners, and Mr. John Watson from he's from West Virginia, my home state, and he came down to fish with me a couple days, and we really got into him today. We kind of struggled a little bit yesterday. We just didn't figure out what was going on, but then today we kind of figured out what was going on and sent John home with a big mess of fish, you know. But yeah, the water's still cold, but what we found out is the fish are out in deep water. We just catch them in 10, 15 foot of water. And just they were suspended out there, and we were putting them in the boat. But yeah, you can see here we started out crappie fishing, started out bass fishing and caught a few bass, caught some little ones. We kept a couple of them for him. And then we had about 30 crappie too. We kept for him, and he didn't want the catfish. But the catfish are pretty good out of here, but he didn't care for the catfish. So we turned the catfish loose, but we caught, we probably caught a dozen nice catfish, which would have been good eating, but he didn't want them, so we just threw them back. We just caught a little bit of everything. It was just a good day fishing on Lake Okeechobee, guys. You know, so, yep, the weather's changing and the water's starting to warm up a little bit, and that's all it takes for them fish to turn on here. So it's getting up to 80 degrees in the afternoon, and that it's like I always say, it's like putting a magnifying glass, on that water, and just it warms it right back up. And the bass were eating. I mean, they'd swallow that shiner. I mean, we caught several bass there, and they swallowed the shiner, which they haven't been doing that. They've just been rolling on it, but these weren't. They were eating. Giant. This is a giant, man. This giant.
Well, I got a little heavier reel.
You watch, he's fighting that thing real slow because we were using 6-pound tests. We scaled our line down, and which helped the cat, helped the bait, because we had some farm raised bait, farm raised shiners. They call them, you know, bubble heads, or you know, they weren't wild shiners. They were farm raised, but you just caught as many fish on them as the wild shiners. But yeah, you couldn't horse them in. I mean, 6-pound test, and you had to have your drag a little bit loose. You know, it's just enjoyable. You know, and that's the way you want to fight. You know, it's just a good way to catch fish, a light line. Now, if you're down in the grass and the reeds and stuff, you can't do that, guys, because it will.
Favorite fish.
He'll break off on you. But when we're out in the open lake like this, in the open river, you don't have to worry about that. They'll be good. I mean, there's nothing for them really to get hung up on. I mean, you just got to take your time and loosen your drag a little bit, and you'll catch them. He got a catfish here, and that's about the right size catfish to keep, but he didn't want none, so.
I got it.
You can see that sun coming up back there. It'll change. Look here, it comes up, it just changes color. But before it comes over the horizon, there's just all kind of different colors, you know. But there he's got another one on, you know. That light line, you just got to be careful with it. Yeah, I forgot my dip net too. I forgot that old dip net, and that, you know, one of these days I'm going to get burnt. They're going to get about a 10 to 11 pounder on there, and I'm not going to be able, I'm going to break off, and I'm going to be in trouble. Yeah, we stayed there for about an hour and caught some bass and catfish on the shiners. And after the sun got up pretty high and the bite started slowing down there, we went out and started trolling and catching fish.
Oh yeah, that's bad there. The bigger fish. Yeah.
We'd use Mafia twister tails like I always do, and Mafia rods, you know.
Fool me. You fool me too, bud. To be honest with you.
Another old catfish there.
That's Red's brother. I got it. Little Red.
That might be a bass. Bass on there. What is it?
Catfish.
Is it?
Big catfish.
This is a pretty nice cat here he caught.
Catfish day, guys. Catfish day.
I hate to say it, but this might be a cutter.
You might be swallowed, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we caught a bunch of catfish in between the bass.
Fish,
The crappie, we caught catfish,
Fish
bass,
on, fish
crappie
on.
today, a little bit of everything. We just kind of a mixed bag today on Lake Okeechobee.
We're gonna eat good tonight, boy. We're gonna eat good tonight.
There's one of the nice bass he caught. We threw that one back. That was a pretty nice bass, so we just threw it back. And so we thought, well, you know, the sun come up a little bit. We just threw the rods out and started trolling.
Oh, there's up in the limbs. There's up the trees, yeah.
We didn't go very far. Once I looked at the electronics and seen where they was, and we adjusted them rods so the bait would be about right in their nose, we just caught, I ain't kidding you, for about 2 hours, we caught one right after another. And they were, like I said, they were in 10, 15 foot of water, suspended in about 8 foot, about halfway down. And we didn't have to measure one of them. I think we caught one short crappie today. The rest of them were pretty nice crappie. I'll tell you how good they was. And John was back there. It was in the poles. He said, "Hey, I'm snagged up." You know, them crappie were almost 2 pounds, some of them. And when they'd hit them crappie rods, that looked like they was hung up. And John said, "No, it's wiggling." We'd pull in. I'm putting my crappie net in there from now on. I don't want to. We didn't break off on any, but we lost a few right at the boat because I, trying to pick them up over the side when they're a pound and a half, 2 pounds. So.
Finally got one.
There you got one on. And you can see it's out in the middle, and that's about 15 foot of water, and they're, like I said, they're suspended on my graph to about 8 to 10 foot. So they was coming up, and that sun was bringing them up, the warmth of that sun, and they just kind of, how that old warm sun, they just turned on. Of course, John, he's an experienced angler. I mean, he's been fishing his whole life too. He's 62 years old, and he's been, it wasn't nothing new to him, and that makes it a lot easier to handle somebody like that. I can just sit there and watch the electronics and run the electric motor, and he catches the fish. He comes down, spends a couple days with me every year fishing. He went out with Captain Larry Monday and got a nice mess of bass, down the lake, and then he went crappie fishing, bass fishing with me for a couple of days.
One down and 49 to go. Fish on, fish on.
You can see he's adjusting the rods up and down to help adjust the depth where they've been. You caught a couple with the rods, kind of almost 50 degrees, 45 degrees up, and then he started, moving the rest of them up, and that served the purpose. I mean, then we started catching them, but we went a little ways, didn't catch them, but once he figured it out, and I was telling him what the graph looked like, and he was adjusting the rods back there to keep that bait right in the strike zone, it was game on, guys. It's game on. You can see we didn't have to measure any of them. They're all nice fish. I mean, they're all pretty good ones. Had a cooler full of them. Up till today, I was watching the birds and the cranes and stuff, and during the day they weren't even active when it's real cold like that. They were humped up on the bank and trying to stay warm. But today they were out. They were back out, doing their thing and alongside the lake and river, getting their minis and bugs to eat. So, and that kind of tells you, things are starting to pick back up. Plus, we've seen a lot of activity on top of the water. John was telling me he's seen bass chasing some minis and stuff up through there. And sure enough, that's when we started really catching a lot of crappie.
Got one.
There's a few times we had 2 on at a time, and that's good. That's good, to get into them like that. You can see they're jumping. They were fighting. You just didn't reel them in. That's how big they was. It was like a bass. They come up and jump, and then they'd bore down into the bottom of the river. And he didn't want to pick them up. Look, we had to reach down and grab them like you do a bass. That's how big they was. I'm not exaggerating. They were pretty good size. John's a avid muskie fisherman, and he's caught several muskie over 50 inches long, and he muskie fishes all summer. He also he's an excellent walleye fisherman. He does some walleye fishing, and he's kind of showed some of the guys back at the house, back at West Virginia, how to do it and the art of walleye fishing, because it's just not everybody can do walleye fishing. I'm telling you what, it takes a steady hand and very it's a finesse type of fishing. And he showed some of my buddies. He showed Billy Starkey how to do it. He showed Red Tenant how to do it back here on the Ohio River, which I more or less showed John how to do it, but he passed it on to some of the guys back here, Tommy Herrick and Billy Starkey and Red Tenant, how to do it. And I guess they've been catching some pretty good ones out there. They all used to go with me on trips, but yeah, the walleye really taken off. You can see all the fish we're into. I mean, look at that screen. I mean, I'm telling you, it wasn't rocket science. Once we found these fish, we'd just go about, I don't know, 200-300 yards, and we'd just turn around, go right back down in them, turn around, go right back down in them, till we filled up the cooler. And I told John, said, that's enough, that's enough. We don't need no more. But I'll just make a turn, go right back up in them, and you see what happened. I mean, we caught them. I mean, we had a blast today. I just have to tell you that. We really had a blast catching fish. And I never caught a fish. I let him catch it. I just had a blast watching him catch them.
Good one? Well, let's make a turn now. What color? Oh, yeah, they're all pink chartreuse.
Nah, this is white.
Is it white?
White chartreuse.
Is it?
Yeah. Don't change that one. Yeah, no one I didn't change.
Yeah, they were lively. I'm telling you right now, they were really lively. Again, I'm using Mafia rods. We was using Mafia twister tails. We was catching most of them on pink. Pink seemed like there was a trick today. And we used a 4-pound test Suffix line and Shimano, the ultralight Shimano reels. And I'll tell you, it just feels good in your hand, them Mafia rods, that Shimano reel. And using them Mafia twister tails, Mafia heads, like a Roadrunner thing. And man, we was catching them with it. I'm telling you right now, look at them. I mean, there's good sized fish. Just yeah, he didn't want to go back up West Virginia because it's pretty cold up there still yet. I mean, they had some below zero weather up there. All the ski resorts up there, Canaan Valley and Snowshoe and them places got a bunch of snow and it froze, but that's the only people really like it back here this time of year, January and February, is the people that ski, and the ski slopes. But you can't, everything's froze over. All the rivers and the creeks and the lakes back here, which I used to ice fish back here this time of year, back when I lived there. But I'd rather be down here in the 70-degree weather and catching these crappie and bass and catfish like we did today. I mean, it's just really relaxing. I mean, you just sit back here in the back and just pick a pole up like you're watching there. You just pick it up and you just reel it in. There's no casting or jigging or, you go in there and crawl in them trees and catch them and jig and stuff. This is just out in open water, and you just sit, pick up the rod and reel, and then you have the fight. Don't get me wrong, I like to jig once in a while. Don't get me wrong now, I do like to jig once in a while, but jigging, you just pull in there and you drop it down there, or a foot or 2 foot or 3 foot or whatever, and you bounce it a couple times and you just pluck them out right straight out. This, you got to fight. I mean, you got these Mafia rods, these crappie rods, and 4-pound test and real light reel, and you got a fight on your hands. I mean, you get they big crappie here, almost 2 pounds. I'll tell you right now, out here in this open water, it's a fight, and it's fun. It's really fun. I like dead sticking them with minis too. I mean, just, you know, put down there, and because you just don't pluck them big ones out with the minis either. Now, when you're jigging and you're using 30-pound test braid, ain't no fight to that. That's a meat hunter's. That's a meat hunter's game right there. But I still do it once in a while. I used to troll for muskies. I mean, I enjoyed trolling for muskies. Now, right at daylight, and when I lived up north there and Johnny would go, and I used to take a couple other guys, Billy Starkey and the Red Tenant, when I showed them the ropes on how to do it. I'd go for an hour in the morning, because that's when the muskies were really active, like these crappie. And I'd cast for them a little bit. And then after that, they'd just kind of disappear. Then I'd start trolling like we're trolling here. And then the muskie would get down suspended, and you'd catch them like this. You just have to, you know, cover a lot of country and find them, and then just keep going back through it. You can see John's got a big smile on his face ear to ear. He's having a good time. Taking a lot of memories back to West Virginia with him. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I got to put the dip net in the boat. that's a fact. I have to put that dip net back in the boat. These things are pretty good size. I'm telling him now, I said, John, we got cooler full. Wow, he said, just one more, you know. Of course, I understand that. He's going back into that cold weather, and, you know, in January and February still. February and March can be bad back up north, you know, but February can be a bad month too. Yeah, I don't blame him. He want to enjoy a little bit more of the sunshine and catching them crappie. Yeah, I was one of the electronics. He found them with adjusting them. We have them Millennium rod holders, and you can adjust them up and down real quick. And Garrett's Tackle Shop's got them down there. The Millennium rod holders like that. And I'm telling you, if you're going to do very much of this, you need to get the Millennium rod holders, because they're a little bit pricey, but they're a lifetime thing, and they're well worth it. Yeah, Garrett Tackle has them Millennium rod holders, and they have all the, you know, the Mafia rods and the Mafia baits there. You just stop in there and talk to Leaf and Caleb, and they'll set you up with, you know, everything you need there. And then just ask them where to go and what to do. They'll tell you.
Big old snag.
Huh?
Big old
Got it broke
You
off.
got another one on there.
snag. Fish right here.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, a few times he's hollered up saying, I got a snag. Well, I can't stop when I'm trolling, you know. Got a snag. No, it's a fish. It's a fish. You know, they're pretty good size. He said, oh, goodness. We had a good time.
Huh? Yeah, they're moving in, ain't they?
You can see the size of them. They're really nice fish. And like I said, you just didn't drag them in. He sat down there by the boat and was showing off some of the big ones he got. And we getting ready to go in and knock the hides off of them, you know, in there and skinning them. You can imagine some of them's 30, 40 yards back here, and them crappie rods and 4-pound tests. We had a blast. y'all want to do this, give Garrett's Tackle Shop a call, and one of the guides will take you out. I mean, I got 1, 2, 3, 4. We got 5 guides in there that take people out, crappie fishing and bass fishing. We got 10 guys that does that. So, and then turkey hunting, like I always say, you want turkey hunt, we got Mr. Randy. You want to go snipe hunting, we got Mr. Bob. Mr. Bob will take you snipe hunting. Bob will take you crappie like we're doing here, crappie fishing or bass fishing, either one. Or alligator, Bob does the alligator thing. He takes people alligator hunting in the summertime. So if you ever come down here and want to go alligator hunting, you need to call the Garrett's Tackle Shop and book you a trip with Bob Stafford. Yeah, here we are in there. We're getting ready to knock a hide off of them.